thinking of the. There's our G. Here comes a C. Here's the E. Here's the A. We'll go back through them kind of a little quicker. Here's the G again. Here's the high G. Here's the C. The E. And the A again. All right.
Brian, can you
Yes.
tell us about why you've chosen to do a low note instead of a high one, or and how you did it, just by a thicker string or heavier gauge?
I have two ukuleles. One is a soprano uke, and it has the high G. And I took it to my wife's father's. There's a farm that's like a kind of a family farm that we all go to gather at. And I took my other uke, my soprano uke, to the farm, and I left it there. And my mother-in-law had inherited this from her mother, so my wife's grandmother, and it's a 1948 or 49 Martin, and it already had the low string on it.
Oh.
So I took to that. I just enjoyed playing it, and when we sort of raised our hands when somebody said, "Who wants this?" I ended up with the low string on it. So I've kept it on the low. I find for my personal taste, the low string it's a little bit more like a guitar. It's got some more depth to it. It's more resonant. I mean, the size of it also allows the low string to really resonate. Whereas the smaller soprano ukes, the high string ends up being just fine. You put a low string on a tiny little thing like that, and it doesn't resonate as much. So I just like the sound of the low G, the drop G.
Great.
So I've just kept it that way. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I have a soprano or alto. Maybe it's a soprano.
You know, there's
hard to tell, isn't it?
you can Google the charts. There's a there's like a super sopranino, and there's a sopranino, and then there's a soprano, which is sort of the smallish, normal sized but small. You can also get like an inch longer, a little bit bigger, is a what's called a concert uke, and that might be what you have. Just gauging from the picture, I
I
can't.
think maybe it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Concert view.
probably looks like a concert uke. That's the concert size, and then if and that's usually 20. I think 23. Let's see. This is 20 26 inches.
Oh wow.
No,
Okay.
23 inches. 23 inches. 26, I think, is goes to the baritone. So
So on
so
a
there's
concert, would it be advisable? I mean, could I buy a heavier gauge string and turn
you
it into the
certainly
low?
you certainly can. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the concert ukes tend to be a little deeper as well, so they can take a little more low resonance in the low end. So a concert uke is a better choice for a drop D than, for example, a soprano uke.
Okay. Great.
And
Thanks.
but a lot of tenors also have that high G, so it's a personal preference thing, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. And everybody's doing well today. Feeling good. Great. Okay, so yes.
Question.
Hmm.
Can you do that on any instrument, on any ukulele? Put a lower string on there. Would that tension make any difference?
Uh,
Extra tension for the lower string?
it's isn't it less tension because it's a lower string?
Well, it's probably bigger string though.
It's a little bigger string. I don't think I don't know what the if it adds tension or less tension, but
Ah, okay.
I think lower, even though it's a thicker string, the thickness of the string has helps it vibrate at it gives the string weight so it can vibrate at the at that pitch. If you take a thin string, like you take a soprano uke with the high G, and you drop it down by an octave, the string's not going to have enough. It's not going to have enough weight to make the sound. Does that make
Right. Yeah.
sense? Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, sure. Um, yeah, if you go with a lower string, definitely a thicker gauge will be better. And the soprano uke probably want to keep it high anyway, because it's just doesn't have the body to resonate with the lower strings. Great. Well, let's see. Let's talk briefly about. Let's look at the section 7 in the strumming patterns. The reggae. The reggae feel has a real strong 2 and 4 and 2 and 3, 4 and 2 and 4 and. So we'll do like a real soft 1 and then 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3. And let's put our fingers in a G major chord today. So that's a 0, 2, 3, 2. So 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 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 1. And I'm barely kind of just sort of touching the 1 and the 3. Sometimes I just even hit that low string and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. Variation 1 has all the notes in it, but real soft on the 1 and then loud on 2 and 4 and. So 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. Now, variations 2 and 3 are like that upbeat sort of, I think they kind of call it a skank in reggae terms. And he's got it with downstrokes, and then he has it with upstrokes. So if you do the downstrokes, it'll be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that with upstrokes, which for me I think is a little more natural, because if your hand's always going up and down, up, down, up, down, up, you just have to hit the upstroke. 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And variation 4 leaves out the 1 and the 3. So 1, up, down, up, 3, up, down, up, 1, up, down, up, 3, 1, and 2, and these are pretty syncopated little variations. Probably that first variation and the reggae and the first variation are probably going to be your most useful ones to use in a reggae song. So yeah, let's move on, because we got lots of songs to play today. Why don't we do this? Someone asked about getting started, counting in, and reviewing the strums on the songs. Let's see. Any questions in the chat I should know about? Hope, Joy? No? Okay. Okay.
No, you can hear that better.
Great. Yeah, thanks. Okay. Why don't we go back and review each of the songs? We'll start with You Are My Sunshine. And this chart happens to have the count in already written. And it starts with the first lines, you are my, and then we start on 1. So that's 2, 3, 4, 1. And I'm using the strum called shuffle variation 1, I think. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 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 1. Okay, so our count off, and I'll count it a little slower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You are my sunshine. Sorry, there's where I want to start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamed I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken. So I hung my head and I cried. Should we move on? Next tune, we'll do I Walk the Line, and we'll review the strum. We'll review the strum's the same as that one we just did. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. A little accent on the 2 and the 4. And this also has the count off, same count off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I keep a close, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so we're counting this counting good for a pickup line. Pickup vocal line, not a pickup line. Save that for happy hour. Okay, so here's my note. I keep a close. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide open all the time. I keep the ends out for the tide that binds. Because you're mine, I walk the line. I find it very, very easy to be true. I find myself alone when the day is through. Yes, I'll admit that I'm a fool for you. Because you're mine, I walk the line. As sure as night is dark and day is light, I keep you on my mind both day and night. And happiness I've known proves that it's right. Because you're mine, I walk the line. You've got a way to keep me on your side. You give me cause for love that I can't hide. For you I know I'd even try to turn the tide. Because you're mine, I walk the line.
Were you in the key of C?
I was in the key of C. Yes.
I've never. It's usually. Well, I know Cash does it in a sometimes B and B flat. B is what he recorded it in.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You get that deep. Hello, I'm Johnny Cash. That deep
Yeah.
resonant sound.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you
Yeah.
sounded like a. You sounded a little. You didn't have that terrified deep.
Yeah, I'd have to sing it a little lower, wouldn't I?
Hey,
I keep a close watch on this heart of mine.
Yeah, do it. Hey, when June Carter Cash first met him in an interview, she said, "When I first met Johnny, he was scary."
That's a great story. I never knew
Hey,
that.
I shook his hand. I shook his hand at a con. He came up to me and shook my hand. I couldn't and introduced himself.
Wow.
But I was stoned out in '67 and didn't realize how great he was.
That's great.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
sounded
cool.
good. I like your equipment in the back. That's all your stuff.
Some of it, these ones with in the black cases belong to another person I share the studio with, but all this open stuff on the shelves is mine. It's a little scary.
I have a question. I put it in
Yeah.
the chat. I put it in the chat.
Hey, Brian, in the chat, can you put the list of your set list of the songs you're gonna do for the whole thing, the titles and key and key?
Red, I've already taken care of that. You'll see a link in the chat, and that will take you to all the material we're using in the class.
Okay.
Thank you, Joy. Yeah, Joy, thank you so much for moderating.
Oh, you're welcome.
And there was another question in the chat. Was there one that I should answer right now?
I'll just ask it. The very phrase, just when we go to "because you're mine, I walk the line," between that C before that and the G7, I feel like there's another chord I could put in, and I don't know what it is, but I feel like I want to put something in. After
From here, because you're mine. Something between the C and the B and the G.
No, before the G7.
Right. So for example, I'm here. I keep my ends out for the tie that binds. Because you're mine. Something between those chords.
Yeah, between the binds and your mind. I don't know why.
Because you're.
It may just be me.
Yeah, I don't believe that there's a chord in between.
Okay, that's
before
cool.
the G7. Yeah.
And there was another quick question too. What are the two chords you tag on at the end?
Oh yeah. On that one, I did a C F C. You can just practice that right there. So for that last line, for you I know I'd even turn the tide, because you're mine. I walk the line, CFC.
Hey, Joy, I don't see that. I came in late. I don't see that link of the set list. Can you repost it to the chat?
Yes, I will. Thank you.
Okay,
it's still in the chat.
No, I came in late. When you come in late, you only get what's sent after you come in.
I think Joy can repost it for you. There should be a Google Drive link where you can download and print all of these materials.
I'll wait for it to appear in the chat.
Okay. Let's moving right along. Did that answer your question? CFC. We can use that anytime you're in C at the end of a tune. I guess you could do that. It's a nice little ending. Alternatively, you could do C G7. That also works. Or I'm not sure what that is, but anyhow, I'll figure that out for the next class. Moving right along, Amazing Grace. So this is the one, it's in 3/4 time. It's got a single note pickup. Amazing Grace, right? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Amazing Grace. And for the strum, I'm predominantly playing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay. If you go ahead, if you played all three of those, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, that would work. Also, yeah. All right, ready? We'll review this one. So I'm going to count off 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. May. We'll be right on 1 there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. One more time. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Do y'all remember we put that A7 in between the A and the D on that third line? I once, pick up your middle finger, gives you that A7. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Yeah, you could do the same sort of thing. A, D, A for a little tag if you wanted. How did that go? We're good? Great. It's good to review songs, play them each day, get a little bit better at them each time. Okay, blowin' in the wind. And this has got our E7. And then down at that last line, we're going to go from the A, remember, put our ring finger down on the third string for that F sharp minor. Okay. And the strum on this is straight. It's not a shuffle. So we'll be how many days? So down, up, down. I think we're using the country, what's it called? The country strum. Down, down, up, down. Da, da, da. Da, da, da. Da, da, da. Da, da, da. How many roads? So there's our strum. And counting in on this song will be, we'll count 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? Whoops, there's an E7. Yes, and how many seas must the white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? I need my glasses today. Yes, and how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. All right. Save for all my mistakes. How did you guys do? So I see a couple of wobbling hands. Why don't we do this one again? I know I need to. It's hard singing these songs slowly. You know, when you're doing the singing, tempo is really, really important for singers, especially because if you have a song that's a little too fast and it's something really sentimental, it just doesn't come off right. And if it's or maybe there's a lot of words and you can't get them all in, or if it's too slow, you just have to think a lot harder and put the air out for longer. So I have to do a lot of singing today. I'm singing later at a gig, and I'm not mostly a singer by trade. So I'm a new singer, but I like to sing. Okay, so we'll do this one again. We'll give 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 for our count, country strum. And if mine changes, it's because I'm singing. But try to stay on the country strum. Here we go. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? Yes, and how many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Yes, and how many times must a cannonball fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Yeah, I realize I'm putting in that variation 1 of the shuffle, but straight, as my strum often, and then I come back to this one. So I mix it up a little bit. One more time, or are we good on this one? I'd say I see one finger. Yes to one more time? One more time. We'll do it one more time. Here we go. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? Yes, and how many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Yes, and how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. All right. We got through that 3 times. Excellent. Now, we started working on country roads yesterday. And this one's got a strum indicated as 1, 2, 1 and 2E and 3 and 4E and down, 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 up, down, up. It's a little flat. Oh, that's flat too. It's very hot in my studio, This time of year, it's sweltering in here. So I usually have been able to, other days this week I've been able to get here early, so this is gets acclimated, but it's still acclimating now. Okay. Let's see. We'll do this introduction. When you see a C with 4 slashes, that means we're going to do 4 whole counts. So 1 and 2, 3, 4, and then change. Sorry, A minor. And then so you're changing on the after one whole measure of that strum pattern. And this one's got that G major. It's a little harder to get to. So on this one, when we're going from the C to the A minor, I like to use my index finger because it kind of keeps me, instead of my middle finger, sometimes I go to the middle finger, especially when I'm going to an F, which we do in the chorus. So something to watch out for. So in the verses, you're going from C to index A minor, and then to the G. Because if you go with middle finger, then you have to bring it all the way up from the bottom string to the low string to the high string. And then in the chorus, we go C to G, and then we go to the A minor, which there you probably want a middle finger, so you can just put your index down for the F. This is a tricky song, I realize. This is like the bordering on an intermediate song, isn't it? Let's see what we can do, though. And maybe we can get to a little bit of 5'2" today, which I think is a lovely song to work on. I hear a question.
Not exactly a question, but like something everybody might want to think about if you're looking for a book for songs. The ones that have the picture of the chord above the place where you use it is a lot easier for me, and I bet a lot of you it would be too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my recommendation once again is a really great book called The Daily Ukulele. It's got 365 songs in it, and there's a second volume, so there's another 365 songs. And it gives you the chords at the top and shows you what all chords you have to know to play it. It doesn't put the picture of the chord over the notes that you play them, but it gives you the chord name. But I think that's good training, because then you have to memorize what the chord shapes are. Then when you look through and you see an F, I know what that looks like, and I know what a G looks like, etc. So yeah, The Daily Ukulele is a great book, and it has melodies written in staff notation. So if you played an instrument, you could read the melody if you didn't know the song, or piano or something like that. Great book, highly recommended.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
I was not here yesterday. Can you review the slashes? Is that a different notation?
So the slashes refers to how many beats you're going to count of that. So for example, in the introduction, we're going to go C, 2, 3, 4, A minor, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, C, 2. So each slash refers to how many beats you play. Okay? All right. Let's see how this one goes. Introduction. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. C, A minor, G major, F, C. Let's do that again. C, 2, 3, 4, A minor, G major, F, C. Almost heaven, west West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Country roads. It's a little different on the chorus. Take me to G. Then we go to A. Back to F. West Virginia. Out to G. Take me home. Country road. Let's take a little break there, right at that moment here. Now, how did that go? So the chorus, you understand, is a little different than the verse. So that's the difference. If you're going to the A, if you bring your index finger down to the A and you're going to the F, then you've got to move that index finger before you get to the F. So normally I play an A minor with my middle finger, but on the verses, I'm going from the C to my index finger to give me a chance to get to that G a little faster.
Hey,
All right.
Brian, are the slashes after E chord, is that a full beat, a full count? 1, 2, 3, 4?
Yes.
Held, sustained. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, 4 beats if you see 4 slashes, and 2 if you see just 2 slashes. Okay, let's do it again, and we'll go through the introduction and both verses and choruses, and then we'll stop before we get to the middle 8. We'll check out middle 8 first. Okay, here we go. Introduction. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. C. A minor. G major. F. And C. Almost heaven. West Virginia. Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country road. All my memories gather round her. Miner's lady, stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, painted on the sky, misty taste of moonshine, teardrops in my eyes. Country roads, take me home. I'm hearing
Yeah.
crickets in the background. It's my
Yeah.
telephone ring. Sorry.
We have a couple comments from Gail. How could one emphasize to make it sound more lively?
As far as accents in the strum, is I'm assuming what you're meaning.
She's shaking her head, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, like I've been sort of intimating when we talk about the strums. There's not a lot of difference between some of these variations. So if we're playing 1, 2, one and 2 E and 3 and 4 E and that's very similar to 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 E and it's not all that far off from 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So all of these variations can kind of live together. So like we did, I think I pointed it out in the other day in Blowing in the Wind, where there would be a little space where the vocals aren't singing, and I might put a little extra in. So for example, here, almost heaven, West Virginia. So I might change my strum, almost heaven, cha 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 cha, West Virginia, cha 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 cha. So I'm putting a little bit of a little emphasis. Maybe I'll play a little bit louder. I often will emphasize also the downbeat of the chords. So when we change chords, out of tune today. Okay, that's a little better. So I'm putting a little emphasis on the beginning chord when we change chords, and then I'm also emphasizing the 2 and the 4, but not letting my I'm not rigid with the strum. I'm keeping the strum down and up and down and up, but it's also the number of beats that I leave in or leave out can change, and I can accent with the words or not, or put in a little extra when I'm not singing. So that's how I make it. I try to make it a little more lively and a little more novel. Like if you hear the same thing over and over and over, it seems a little flatter, right? So that's how I do it. I hope that answered your question. Okay.
And there's one other one here. Can we please go through the break, the middle 8? This is from Arla.
We are just now there. So at this point, I like this version. We're just going to strum each chord individually, like that, and hold it, and then we're going to strum the next one and hold it, and then we'll strum the next one and hold it, etc. So here we've got these new chords. Let's review them before we get there. After the A minor by and driving down the road. Driving down the road is a B flat, so we're going to bar the high 2 strings. So strings 3 and 4 are there. Middle finger on the C string, 2nd fret, and the 3rd fret of the G string with the ring finger. And you got to press down because you're getting all 4 strings at the same time. This thing's out of tune today. And I'm leaning my middle finger leans a little bit on my index finger to try to help push down those 2 strings. So there's your B flat, and then it's followed by an F, which we know, and then we hit the C, and then we're going to kind of come back to strumming on this G to the G7. Now this might be the trickiest move, is going from that little triangle pointing up towards the body to the triangle pointing towards the headstock. And we've talked a little bit about how if you play that G major with fingers 2, 3, 4. So middle, ring, and pinky. There's your G. And then you put your index finger down and pick your pinky up, and you got your G7. I don't do that. I think I mentioned that the other day. I'm a change the shape. And always when you're putting a shape down, you want to sort of put your fingers in the shape and drop them on all the strings at the same time. It's a little better than going 2 and then putting the third one down. If you can find that shape in one move. So let's practice going from G to G7. Back to G to G7. One more time to G, G7. Great. Let's try this middle 8 here. I hear the voices in the morning hours. She calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. And driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. See how I came out of that? Where I hit the single strings. Once I get to that, finally get to that G major chord. Yesterday too. I start the time up again. Yesterday, and then I rock out, and then you go to the C. That's like the big, like put goosebumps on your arms kind of moment. So let's see. Let's try that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, A minor. I hear the voices in the morning hour. She calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. And driving down the road, I get the feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Country roads, etc. Yeah, rocking out there, okay? Let's try that one more time. Okay, 2, ready, and I hear her voice in the morning hour. She calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. And driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Country road, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home, country road. Great. We got about 4 minutes left. Why don't we try doing the whole tune? Maybe we should just do one verse.
And before you start, I want to put in a little plug for donations to support all the wonderful instructors we have this week.
Yes, please do that. Excellent. Great. Okay. Let's do the second verse. We'll do the intro, but just to save time, let's do the second verse and middle 8, and then the chorus to go out. Okay? So introduction. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 1. So I'll start in the second verse. C. All my memories gather round her, miner's lady, stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, painted on the sky, misty taste of moonshine, teardrops in my eyes, country roads, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home, country roads, here comes the middle age. I hear her voice in the morning hour, she calls me, the radio reminds me of my home far away, and driving down the road I get the feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home, country roads, one last time, country roads, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home, country roads, and we'll repeat that, take me home, country roads. All right, that's a beautiful song, really, really pretty. Time to go and let the others have the breakout room for the next class. Thank you, Joy, for moderating. Thank you all for being here. Stay safe. Tomorrow we'll review all the stuff, and we'll look at 5'2" in F major. So print that one out for tomorrow. I see a hand up. Is that a hand up? No, that's my cursor. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much.
You're very welcome.